I had a great childhood. Loving parents, a safe and supportive home. I went to a good school in a new neighborhood. I had every opportunity to succeed. And I still made a series of bad decisions that led me down a dangerous path. I was a good student when I attended. But with high school came challenges. There was stress, insecurities, and pressure to fit in. And it left me questioning, who am I? Where do I belong? What do I do after graduation? I didn't know. I felt lost, overwhelmed, and unprepared. And that marked the beginning of my relationship with negative coping mechanisms. I started skipping school, drinking alcohol, and doing drugs almost daily. I didn't realize it then, but I was losing control. By 17, I'd been hospitalized twice after 2 major car accidents. Both involved drugs and alcohol. And shortly after that, I was arrested on drug charges. My 20s were a series of small wins, followed by setbacks that left me wondering, what am I doing? I was in and out of school and bounced from city to city. I found work, got fired, and started over more than once. It was a decade of motion without meaning. Now, as a father of 2 young boys, I look back in horror at what I put my parents through. The stress, sleepless nights, and helplessness as they watched me struggle. When your child is caught in a downward spiral, there's no manual for how to save them. You're left hoping, wishing, praying that something or someone finally gets through to them. Lucky for me, someone did. My dad introduced me to his personal trainer, Donnie, and the direction of my life completely changed. And there's an old saying that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And that's exactly what happened. Donnie took me under his wing, sharing his knowledge about life and business. He became my mentor. He talked about goals and positive self-talk and surrounding yourself with inspiring people. And he had this knack for dropping one-liners that made you rethink your whole life. Things like, you can't fix what you won't face. Or, well, if nothing changes, nothing changes. And little riddles like small hinges open big doors. I still don't understand that one. It felt like wisdom I was hearing for the first time, even though I'm pretty sure my parents have been saying the same sort of thing for years. Let's be honest. Advice from your parents lands about as well as when your spouse tells you how to load the dishwasher properly. You hear it, you just don't hear it. But from a mentor, the same words take on a whole new power. It's like someone hands you a pair of glasses and suddenly you see things better than ever before. You see yourself better than ever before. Well, my mentor saw something and believed in me before I had the ability to believe in myself. And today, I'm 5 years sober. I'm 15 years drug-free. I'm a happy husband and proud father. And for the last decade, I've worked to help others transform their lives too. Now, I don't share that to impress you, but to impress upon you what's possible with mentorship and connection. And we need both now more than ever. My story shows that no one is immune to feeling lost or the consequences of poor decisions. Struggle is universal and it can affect anyone. In fact, it is. And studies suggest that we're witnessing a generation where many young men are quietly struggling, battling depression, anxiety, substance abuse, and even thoughts of suicide. In 2024, the Canadian Men's Health Foundation found that more than half of all young men aged 19 to 29 reported moderate to high anxiety, and 42% were at risk of depression. In the UK, the Lost Boys report published by the Centre for Social Justice stated that boys and young men are in crisis. Imagine waking up every day with an invisible weight that impacts every single aspect of life. Your ambition, your education, your relationships, but most importantly, your hope for the future. Even worse, many young men often suffer in silence, believing that it's not manly to ask for help. So instead, they often bottle up their emotions and turn to negative coping mechanisms like drugs, alcohol, video games, or doom scrolling social media to check out. And when they feel lost, stuck, or stressed, it's often easier to escape reality than actually deal with it. But what if a mentor were to show up at this critical time in a young man's life? Mentorship, it's not meant to replace treatment or therapy, but I believe it's part of the solution. It's actionable, it's effective, and it doesn't require $1 billion budget. Mentorship is valuable because it provides something that everyone needs: connection. Someone who listens, someone who reflects our strengths back to us and gently nudges us towards who we're capable of becoming. It builds confidence, self-esteem, and hope. And mentorship's not a new concept, it's as old as human history itself. Historically, we relied on elders and apprenticeship to survive. Our ancestors, they didn't make it on their own. We evolved to thrive in connection. Today, despite being connected through social media and technology, we're starved for genuine, meaningful relationships. Somewhere along the way, we began glorifying independence. And look, independence is great, unless, of course, you're struggling alone. Mentorship can uplift and empower. And just as iron sharpens iron, supportive connections leave us all feeling stronger. It's often said that everyone needs 4 people in their life: a coach, a cheerleader, a friend, and a mentor. And it's true. But here's the twist. It's also about being those people for someone else. Mentorship is a two-way street, and as a mentor, you're called to embody the values and the principles that you teach. And in doing so, you also find a newfound sense of meaning and purpose. Helping somebody to discover their strengths is one of life's greatest gifts. Just ask Wally, who mentors aspiring entrepreneurs. He's known for his community involvement and believes that success is best when shared. Or John, who's mentored young men for over 50 years and still does at the age of 93. He says it's partly what keeps him feeling so young. I imagine that each of you can recall someone from your youth who made such an impression on you that you can still see their face or maybe even hear their voice. So how do we restore mentorship? With action. First, we need to create spaces where it's safe for young men to open up and ask for feedback. Places where they can connect through a shared experience like a group hike, learning a new skill, or bonding around a bonfire rather than just bellying up to the bar. Second, we need to be intentional. Pay attention and notice changes in those around you. A simple, "Hey, do you want to grab a coffee and go for a walk?" can make a huge difference in the life of a young man. And third, we need to lead by example. Actions speak louder than words, and others are always watching whether you realize it or not. We all have young men in our life. A son, brother, nephew, or neighbor. And when he's thriving, it literally creates a ripple effect through families and communities. Young men have enormous potential. Always have, always will. So here's what I'd ask you to consider. Can you be a mentor? Who in your life needs you to be that voice of encouragement or that catalyst for change? After all, it's about more than just mentorship. It's about finding meaning and purpose and being of service to others. And I believe that deep down inside, that's what everyone's searching for anyway. Young men need mentors now more than ever. Mentorship has the power to change lives. I know this because it changed mine. Thank you.